Good Friday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Johnny Lively. We made it to Friday and we have lots to talk about. Not a lot going on today, but we do have a lot this weekend getting into early next week as we talk about the cold and the winter storm, what exactly it will bring to our region. You can see the cold is already kind of making its way southward. I mean, these aren't make believe numbers. Negative 13 in Fort Bet. You got negative 20 in Minneapolis, negative 5 in Omaha. Wichita at 19 degrees. And the further south that you go, it is getting warmer, but that's going to be changing, especially this weekend. Here we are across southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union, showing us the temperatures that we have, mainly into the 50s, further south, already into the 60s. You can see that spread. Houston at 61, Beaumont at 58, Lake Charles 57, and down towards the coast, already into the upper 50s to low 60s. Again, thanks to our sponsor of Do Good Credit Union. Here we are, kind of waiting for that cold front. That cold air is sinking southward. We really won't see that moving into our region until Saturday evening. Lots of clouds kind of off and on throughout the day coming in from the west. We have that warm sector just south. We're going to stay somewhat on the mild side pretty much today and half of tomorrow, but that colder air is on the way and some big changes are coming. This is our satellite showing the last 6 hours, sponsored by Switch Electric. Here we are for Construction Outdoor for today, sponsored by Modern Concrete Material. We're starting out into the 50s. Lots of clouds really off and on today. We can have some isolated to really getting close to scattered, but it's mainly going to be 20 to 30% coverage. That coverage starts picking up once we get into night, especially on Saturday, a wet Saturday in store for us. But today, we will be dealing with some passing showers, so keep that in the back of your mind. Modern Concrete does concrete, so if you're doing any concrete pours, know that some passing showers definitely are possible later today, especially this afternoon, getting into the evening. Definitely picks up tonight, especially on Saturday. This brings us to what to expect the rest of this week and into the weekend. So we have some isolated scattered showers today, but this picks up as we get into Saturday. A wet and soggy Saturday is in store for us, and then cold air starts getting into our region Saturday night, especially by the time we get into Sunday. We start transitioning. That window for transitioning into freezing rain will mainly be late Saturday into Sunday morning, and then we transition to that precipitation moving out by Sunday afternoon, and then hard freeze conditions Sunday night on Monday morning and Tuesday morning. So some cold weather is definitely upon us. Rainfall outlook, again, 20 to 30% coverage today, and then we jump up to 90 to almost 100% coverage coming up this weekend, Saturday into half a day on Sunday. Here is the latest on the winter storm alerts. Majority, or if not all, of our region, except for the coastal areas, are in a winter storm watch. That means we are watching for the potential for the winter precipitation, freezing rain or sleet as we get into late Saturday into Sunday morning. Some cold temperatures are upon us. Winter storm warning to the north of our area, and really one of the biggest things that I'm always worried about is ice storm warnings. You can see that spreads into northeast Louisiana, especially into parts of Mississippi, getting into Tupelo, Mississippi. That's where the hardest hit area is going to be for the ice. It starts in East Texas and makes its way all the way over there into Mississippi. And then look far to the north, that is extreme cold weather. We just showed you that the real temperatures are negative 15 to negative 5 degrees. Big story is all the snow to the north. Lubbock, 8 to 12 inches possible. Oklahoma City, 15, 18, 20 inches cannot be ruled out for parts of Oklahoma. Even Little Rock all the way into Nashville. Notice that snow line really stops around Dallas-Fort Worth. In parts of East Texas, freezing rain and sleet is what is going to be south of that. That makes its way into our area late Saturday, getting into Sunday. So here we are with the 20 to 30% coverage, mainly this afternoon, getting into the evening time hours across the region, sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. It's once we get into night that coverage starts picking up, more moisture starts getting into the region, and then a wet and soggy day is in store for us coming up on Saturday. Here we are Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon, a pretty big round. That's that 90% coverage of moderate to heavy rainfall, 1 to 2 inches is likely coming up on Saturday, with some isolated spots possibly getting up to 3 inches. So a wet day in store on Saturday. This will kind of continue until I would say, mid-afternoon. We actually kind of get a little bit of a lull that we might see the action kind of die down just a little bit late Saturday into the evening time, but all that picks up once we get into Saturday at midnight. That's when we start transitioning, possibly, especially in our northern counties, into freezing rain, and then we watch that kind of trickle southward as we get into Sunday morning. So here we are at Sunday at midnight, you can see the purple and pink. That's the freezing rain. The green down I-10 towards the coast, that is still rain. But as we start getting into that 1, 2, 3 a.m., notice that freezing rain line is getting closer to the I-10 corridor and the coast, and we are going to continue pretty, what is that, moderate to heavy rain or moderate to heavy precipitation. Pretty decent precipitation rates coming up on Sunday morning. So I'm not going to rule out the chance that if we do have rain and possibility of freezing rain, could have some thunder behind it as well too, because we have a good amount of lift. So in other words, we start transitioning really all across the board once we get into Sunday morning around daybreak. Here we are at Sunday at 10, 11 o'clock. This really starts pushing more into southwest Louisiana, pushing out of southeast Texas. By Sunday afternoon, it pretty much all is in southwest Louisiana, is out of southeast Texas by that time. So really the biggest time frame that we'll watch for freezing rain potential is late Saturday through Sunday morning. And then by Sunday afternoon, this moves eastward, getting into southwest Louisiana. By Sunday afternoon into the evening, it's going to be dry, but it's going to be cold. Temperatures continue to keep falling. We will be into the upper teens Sunday night, in the 20s all along I-10. So any moisture or water that's on the roadways, we definitely want to keep and keep cautious that black ice is a big concern coming up Sunday night into Monday across our region. That's something we really want to kind of keep in mind. Look how big that spanned. I mean, the winter storm impacts. Let me kind of rewind this a bit. Look at this. 1,500 to 2,000 miles wide. I mean, look how big a winter storm impacts are. Really bad across the plains, East Texas. And again, look at what we'll be dealing with in parts of I-20. This is a pretty big ice storm, parts of I-20 to Tyler to Shreveport. And again, we keep sliding eastward. That area that's in purple, that is going to be a pretty big ice storm. Widespread power outages, tree limbs, power outages, the power lines down. This is going to be a pretty nasty setup from the Louisiana and Mississippi border, Arkansas and Mississippi border, from Greenville to Tupelo. Pretty nasty setup. But we can here locally, you can see minor impacts are possible into Liberty County, getting in parts of Lumberton and Koontz. Again, we kind of been saying that the I-10 corridor, we can have an inconvenience of some minor impacts. If this does really trickle its way all the way down to our areas, we're expecting at a tenth of an inch as possible of ice along I-10. So this could slow traffic down and disruptions. But the further north that you go, like Wildwood, Koontz, Kirbyville, Jasper, DeRidder, this is where we can get up to a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch. So we could get closer to moderate impacts. Traffic and driving concerns, traveling would be the issues, and could see some power outages out of this as well too. Just depends on how much ice accumulation we actually get in those northern areas. High temperature today, mainly going to be into the low to mid 60s, a little bit warmer southwest of Houston, getting into the upper 60s to low 70s. Overnight tonight, mainly going to be into the 40s and 50s down, you can see along the I-10 corridor, but the further north you go, that cold air is already sneaking in. You'll start sneaking into the 30s and 40s far to the north. Let's take a look at the cold weather. Again, hard freeze conditions coming up Sunday night, mainly on Monday morning and Tuesday morning. Single digits up there in St. Augustine, but teens into our northern regions like Woodville, Jasper, Newton, and DeRidder. Along the I-10 corridor will be into the low 20s, and then down towards the coast. I think this is a little bit too cold, but down towards the coast should be anywhere from the upper 20s to low 30s. So a light freeze definitely is possible along the coast, but a hard freeze the rest of the region across I-10 and all the way into our northern counties and parishes. Look how cold Monday morning. -1 Oklahoma City, -1 in Wichita, down here in southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana. Again, upper teens to low to mid 20s on Monday morning. The cold weather definitely is upon us. 7-day forecast for southeast Texas. That winter storm sneaking in this weekend. Cold air is on the way. Transition into freezing rain on Sunday morning, but before that, 1 to 3 inches of rain is likely coming up on Saturday. We will watch for the freezing rain potential coming up on Sunday. A quarter of an inch is possible into the northern counties and parishes. Getting closer to the I-10 corridor, a tenth of an inch is possible. And then cold mornings, hard freeze Monday and Tuesday morning. And then another cold front should come into our region as we get into Wednesday, and that means chilly weather will continue really as we get into next week as well too. So we've got cold weather this weekend for southwest Louisiana, 1 to 3 inches Saturday, freezing rain potential on Sunday morning, hard freeze Monday and Tuesday, and then another cold front comes into our region as we get into Wednesday. So pretty much the next 5 to 7 days, we are well below average when we're talking about the afternoon highs, especially the normal lows. Good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. We have so many moving parts, especially with this winter storm and the cold temperatures. We want to keep everybody updated. We're going to have updates throughout the day on Facebook, YouTube, and especially this app right here. It's free. It's on the Google and App Play Store. Please go download it. You put in your location. You can have it follow you, and you see where your current locations is. It's going to give you all the updates, alerts, and watches that you need, especially for what we're dealing with this weekend. Y'all have a good Friday. We will see y'all this evening. Me and Lucas will do a live stream on YouTube and here on Facebook and also on our app on the homepage. We will answer any questions and talk about the what to expect this weekend, the timeline, the hard freeze conditions on Monday and Tuesday, answer whatever questions we possibly can. And I will see y'all this evening. Thanks again for joining our Friday morning show. Have a good Friday. See y'all this evening.